Hello, can you hear me now? I'll just wait. Hopefully, let's see if anyone can hear me. I can edit this bit out. I don't know what happened then. Hello? Hello? Seems to be. Hello? What's going on, I think? Hey, I'm on. I can edit it. Can you hear me now? Wait, on the I'm live on here. Can you hear me at all?
Bruce, can you hear that?
Hello? Yes. Oh, good. Okay. All right. I'll hang up. I can edit this. So thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right, Dylan. Bye.
Okay. Welcome back to my second live, and thank you for joining me today. So I do want to go through a little bit of housekeeping. The first thing is that I am not a counsellor or a relationship expert. Everything that I talk to you about today comes from my experiences, my own journey through abuse, and my research. I also have a puppy dog right here, so if there's any noise, that will be Aussie. Today I want to answer a question from Sarah, and she asked me, how are you so normal with everything that you've been through? And if you haven't seen what I've been through, guys, go back and have a look at the story on my page and you'll be able to have a listen to that. And there's some other videos there that are very helpful with the presentation that I do. So she asked me, how are you so normal with everything that you've been through? So today I wanted to talk to you about how you can help yourself heal when you've gone through a domestic violence or abusive situation. First of all, I want to express that I'm very sorry that you have been through that. It's a horrible thing for anyone to go through, but you can heal yourself at the end of it. One of the things that I recognized looking back was that I was never going to heal properly until I was out of survival mode. So being in a constant state of stress and dealing with courts and property settlements and financial things, that's what I was focused on. I wasn't focused on healing. Although I was very lucky at the time, I had a wonderful counsellor and a holistic counsellor who was taking me through gratitude and being able to look at the day and seizing that moment rather than, dealing with the stress that I had, but giving it a certain time in my day, not making it consume my whole day. That was really, really important. So, as I said in the first live, I do believe it's important for you to have a holistic counsellor and a counsellor or any form of counselling that you can. Make sure they know about narcissistic abuse and the games that a narcissist will play, so that when you're talking to them, they will give you sound advice, but they believe what you're saying, because often what an abuser does is unbelievable to a lot of people. So that's the first thing, that until you're out of survival mode and back into living mode, you won't be able to truly heal yourself. You'll be able to heal bits and bring peace in, but it is a high stress situation. Let's face it, it's horrific to have to go through any breakup, but going through a breakup with domestic violence or abuse is really cruel, can be really cruel. So doing things daily for yourself will help you to heal. But when you reach the end, one of the things that I truly recommend that you do, and I know a lot of people are not going to agree with this one, but it helped me. You need to forgive your abusers. Now, that doesn't mean you have to tell them that you've forgiven them. It doesn't mean they need to come back into your life. It doesn't mean you need to have anything to do with them. It simply means you're going to let go of that energy, that attachment that you have to that person. Now, look, I still get triggered. Even these days, if something happens and one of my exes pops up onto a presentation, or I, see something that they've done, I go back into that victim survival mode where I'm scared. And only for a brief minute, I don't let them have that much power over me. But I'm human, and I'm a human, going through this experience. So certain things that I will see remind me of him, and I'm triggered. Being triggered is not the same as reliving it. It's an automatic response that I now tell myself, I'm just being triggered so I can let it go. But forgiving your abuser will truly help your heart to heal, and it will help you to be able to focus on you. Every thought that you have about them is a moment in your life that it's taking away. Now, I know that some of you still have to deal with your abusers with your children, and I know that some of you still have to go for the rest of your life being in the same room as them, and that can be really, really difficult. But the idea is to get you strong enough and healed enough that your past doesn't affect you anymore. Now, we're all different. I can sit here and I can tell you my story, and I can tell you my story without feeling it. And the reason I can do that is because I've let it go. It doesn't affect me. I understand that I haven't been through the worst form of abuse. There are people out there currently going through way more than I ever did. And that doesn't take away from what I've been through, but it puts it into perspective for me that we're all on our own journey and we're all going through painful situations. So having the knowledge that other people are going through worse certainly puts my journey into perspective. The other thing that put my journey into perspective is a belief that I have that absolutely everything that happened to me, every single thing, the good, the bad, the ugly, was for a reason. And that reason is for me sitting here today talking to you about how you can heal yourself after the abuse. Researching why I went through the abuse, researching the indicators gave me the knowledge about what was happening to me in the first place, because some abuse is very, very sneaky, and it's hard to pinpoint that that's actually what is happening. When we're an empath, we're very forgiving. So we tend to overlook people's behaviors, and we become confused as to why are they doing that to us when we wouldn't do that to them. It's a game that they're playing, and it really does mess with you mentally. So understanding what I was going through, being able to put it in its box, this is what my mother had. My mother had very, very big mental health issues. She was never going to get better unless she admitted she had them and she got help, and she never did that in her lifetime. So understanding that I was never going to be able to fix her allowed me to see what was wrong with her. In fact, my father sent me through her medical records, and with that understanding of what was happening with my mother came my healing with her. I was able to let her go and have my life without that abuse in it. So then moving forward into my relationships, understanding what coercive control was, what psychological abuse was, what emotional abuse was, what those indicators look like, and watching people's actions and knowing exactly why they're doing what they're doing, having that education is amazing because it helped me heal. So being able to journal your thoughts, I mean, look, I still have days where I'm, what you would call depressed, I guess, where I'm not happy with what's happened in my situation. I've been through a lot. I lost a lot. But what happens is I will have it for a brief minute and then I'll flip it. And I just start having gratitude for what I do have. And I try and stay within that gratitude. And I know this is really, really hard to do. And as I said, when you're going through and you're in survival mode, it's particularly hard. But even if you can try and say to yourself, one of the things I used to do was I would say, I am going to allow myself to stress and to deal with this shit, excuse my language, but that's what it is, between 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock every day. So if I have to do court documents, or I have to go through financial paperwork, or I have to contact my solicitor, or whatever it might have been, between 4 and 6 was my time. All the rest of the time, yes, I spoke about it, but I made sure that I had that time specifically there, and that was my time where I could stress and have to deal with it. The rest of the time, I tried to work on myself. I tried to be as peaceful and as calm. I'd go and I'd have a bath, and, sometimes I'd go and scream in a pillow, and all those sorts of things. But I did try to make sure while I was going through the abuse that I was trying to be as kind to myself as possible. So how am I so normal? Well, define normal. I don't know. I think we all have our own levels of normal. I'm not really sure what normal looks like. Can I function in society? Yes. Does the abuse affect me? No. Can I talk about it without it hurting? Yes. Can I help people through my own journey? Yes. And I think that's probably the biggest thing for me. I've come a long way since it happened. When the last abuse happened, I went from one extreme to the other, where I was extremely naive to somebody who would overanalyze everything because I didn't know which way was up. I'd been with somebody that I trusted for many, many years, that I realized everything that they told me was a lie, and it turned your life upside down. So I went through the untrusting phase, I guess you could call it, and trying to make sense, understanding that people's actions are what show you what they want. They can tell you that the sky is green. They can tell you anything, but their actions have to match. Having someone whose words match their actions is extremely important. So when you get to the end of your survival, when you feel like you can take a breath, when the court is over, when the divorce is over, certainly work on yourself and be able to try at least to forgive your abusers for you, not for them. Nobody deserves to go through abuse. Absolutely nobody on this planet deserves to go through pain and suffering. But unfortunately, that happens. You can have a neighbour who's abusive. We live in a world where we have really cruel people. They are the minority, by the way. Most people have good intentions for you. So being able to understand the abuse, what you went through, why you went through it, why people are abusive. For me, healing was being able to help people. That helped me. I know people that can't even look at their situation, let alone talk about it. And that's fine. That's their journey. That's who they are. They need to heal in other ways. My healing came from helping others. That's how I was able, forgiving my abusers, helping others, and understanding the abuse. Those three things were how I was able to heal myself. And I'm not saying I don't have bad days, because I do. And we all have bad days. But I do know I have an understanding of what I went through. And I think a lot of people probably have the same. They have an understanding of their journey. I mean, I hear a lot of things Frozen. Oh, goody. Oh, no. This is not going very well. There must be something wrong with the internet connection. I think I might just have to leave it there and edit it in Studio. So I hope that it comes back in and that I've been able to help you to understand how you can heal. Firstly, you really can't heal while you're going through it. That you just need to take really good care of yourself. The healing will come after